Hi everybody, Andrew Cuneo here. I'm going to be doing a Wilds of Eldraine draft. I've done a handful of drafts so far, but I'm definitely still learning the cards. So I'm going to have to read certainly a bunch of the commons. I generally prefer to learn the sets by, just playing with the cards rather than studying the spoil or you know, it, listening to a bunch of content to try to, be ready for day one. I figure I'm going to draft the set enough that might as well keep it fresh for as long as possible. Oh, please join opponent. This is like the worst screen in Arena. The new pack opening screen is certainly contending with it, though. So decent white red land. The card's probably fine. I mean, it's not insane giving your opponent a 1-1, but being able to kill anything. That seems too expensive. That seems okay. So Candy Grapple's one of the better common removal spells. This seems like pretty easy pick in this pack. Maybe there's something I'm missing, but this card is obviously good. 2 mana, kill a lot of things. 2 mana plus sack something, kill almost anything. Instant. And there are times in this set when you actually want to sack your own permanents. I have no idea where this card is from. It doesn't seem very good, though. What's this thing do? That's pretty good. 2/3 that, as long as your opponent has a creature in play that is untapped, you're going to draw a card and lock the creature down for a turn. I guess it limits your options if you really want to draw the card, but it seems pretty good. That said, I think I'm just going to pick up the Beanstalk. So far, I've been pretty impressed by green-black as a combination, and I think this card just seems very good to me. This format hasn't seemed so fast that you can't afford to do stuff like this. What's this do? Target creature or land from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, I see why it's still in the pack. It doesn't do anything. This fairy fencing card has been quite good for me because even I drafted green-black one time and I didn't have very many fairies in my deck, but I had a couple of the 2 mana 1/3 flyer, which if you have a fairy in play, this card is just great. And if you don't have a fairy in play, it's still reasonable. It's also nice to have that it's an X spell with up the Beanstalk, because you can scale it to the point where you draw a card if that's what you want. Each rat you control, create a wicked roll token attached to that rat. Oh. That last clause, attached to that rat, is where they get you. I think I'm just going to take Utopia Sprawl. Oh, that's not. I was thinking this is the one that draws you a card. It's not. Maybe I'll still pick it anyway. This is the one that ramps you. This is a good card for me if I'm actually green-black. It's a fairy, which helps fairy fencing. It also, I've got 2 instants already. I think I'll try this. It's possible I pivot out of fairies. This is the fight thing. I guess I'll take the fight thing. Oh, there's a new printing of Rest in Peace with really weird art. That's kind of nice, I suppose. Maybe I should try playing enchantments in Historic now that there's Utopia Sprawl. I guess the problem with doing that, though, is Orcus Bowmasters. Orcus Bowmasters just really... That and the One Ring kind of ruin Historic. There's a lot of red cards available. Just in case I'm going to change colors, I guess I'll take Grabby Giant. Dragon Mantle's certainly fine, too. This thing really is not fine. I'm not going to play with that card. I haven't hated this card. I don't think I even realized that the adventure part was an instant. It's better than I thought. Not too many drafts into this format. I've already whiffed with Commune with Nature once. Doesn't really take whiffing with those things that many times for me to stop playing with them. This seems like it's going to be a somewhat spell-heavy green-black deck, too, so that makes me really not want to play Commune with Nature. Wow, the Repercussion Wield. What does this card do? Not horrendous, but I'm going to rare draft. I have played with this card. It's not great. I think it's not a disaster if it makes your deck, but it's not great. I want this thing just because I think my curve might wind up being a little bit high. So how many bargain cards do I have? One. I only have one so far. There we go. 5-drop. I found this thing to be pretty serviceable. Wonder why they reprinted Compulsion. This card was bad when it first came out, and people were excited about it, and by 2023 standards, it's horrific. Choose target enchantment you control that doesn't have the same name as another. Wow, is that confusing? There's a lot of words on it. It's a 4-mana 4/4 that has an okay ability. So it can't be that bad, but I think I'm just taking Gingerbread Hunter, which I think is pretty strong. This is mono black one. Both these black cards are fine. Even Skybeast Tracker is also fine, I would say. Gingerbread Hunter seems, perfect for my green-black deck that wants to have 5-mana cards and wants to have instants. Second up the Beanstalk. This Edgewall Inn card is also, pretty nice. It's not the most powerful card in the world, but it's replacing a land in your deck, so assuming you have enough other good playables, it's pretty nice. What does this card do? Seems pretty good. What does this card do? So it's like a Gravedigger with a bunch of extra words that might occasionally do something. Not the worst. You have a prophetic prism. In case I want something to bargain away. Don't think I'm interested in vampiric rites in this deck, really. I think I'm just going to go with the troublemaker oof. Seems like there's a decent amount of times you want to destroy your opponent's artifacts or enchantments. What does this card do? Not much. Second Dream Spoiler Witch, or what's this? The Beanstalk Worm. 5/4 reach. I think I'll go for a second Dream Spoiler Witches. I have 1, 2, 3. 3 instants. So I should probably try to get another 2 or 3 instants to go with this. Because it also works if I had flash creatures, which I don't even know if there are any flash creatures in my colors in this set. Filler 3-drop. Mediocre 4-drop. I don't think either of those cards is likely to make my deck. I don't really know that it matters which one I pick. Not that into Ginger Brute. What's this one do? Might want to play Leaping Ambush, depending on what else I get. Just to have another way to trigger Dream Spoilers. This thing seems fine. This seems like a better way to trigger Dream Spoilers. I don't have very much. I have like nothing that generates food, which is weird for a green-black deck. I feel like I've abandoned my tribe. I also haven't gotten any of the 2-mana 1/3 that taps for mana, which I think is one of the important cards for this archetype. I do have the Utopia Sprawl, which helps with that. Whenever an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard, you can make a rat. I don't think that's going to happen all that often. I guess I do have these Up the Beanstalks that I can bargain away. It's Candy Grapple, Agatha's Champion, Hamlet Glutton. I think those are the things that I have that need, or that may need bargaining. Second Gingerbread Hunter. That's pretty nice. I think I'm going to take that over Shatter the Oath. Minstrosity. Yeah, I'm just taking Gingerbread Hunter. This thing, I think, could be fine in a different deck. I mean, it wouldn't be horrible in this deck. It wouldn't be good, though. But the Gingerbread Hunters also make food. Royal Treatment. Pretty strong. I think I'm just taking Royal Treatment. I wouldn't splash for that. I think I have enough expensive cards at this point. Which I did want some expensive cards, given that I got double Up the Beanstalk. This pack doesn't seem like it's going to offer anything for me. 3/4 trample. I do have like a little bit of access to blue mana with Utopia Sprawl, but I don't think I'm going to play a mediocre. Well, that's maybe slightly better than mediocre, but certainly not great 4-drop. I don't want any of these cards where I draft. There's Candy Trail. There's also Territorial Witch Stalker, which I think I'm just going to take the Territorial Witch Stalker and play it. If Candy Trail made my deck, that would be fine too. I don't really have food synergies, so it's not that important. What does this thing do? This would be fine, but it's kind of more of up the beanstalk. I'm definitely taking Root Rider Fawn. It's one of the cards I really wanted for this deck out of this pack. Take another Scream Puff. I'm definitely not going to take Dark Tutelage. Or I could take a Territorial Witch Stalker. I think I'm just going to take a second Scream Puff. My curve's a little high. I think I'm going to play 17 lands plus Utopia Sprawl plus the Root Rider Fawn. Even though my curve is high, I do have like the 2 Gingerbread Hunters that can also be cast for 3 mana. Is this an upgrade over something? Probably not. And I think I'm going to be happy to play 2 Scream Puffs, 1 Hamlet Glutton, so I don't think getting more of those helps me. That's something that I might have a better feel for deeper into the set. Oh, this card's banned in Historic. I should definitely just pick it. Don't think I would play another Not Dead After All or another Troublemaker Oof. Maybe the Oof is it better than the second Territorial Witch Stalker? Maybe. I'm going to think about that. Shatter the Oath. Maybe that's better than than the second Scream Puff. I'm not going to play with any of those cards. I'm not going to play with any of these cards. I'm not going to play with any of these cards, and there's not a card with a weird border for me to pick. That's kind of disappointing. So I think I'm just going to play 9/8 green. Should I try to play 10/7? If I play 10/7 green, the Utopia Sprawl is going to be a black source for me effectively, so I still would have 8 black sources. I don't know that I need to do that, though. I mean, this way I sort of have 9 black sources, which is nice with a double black card in my deck. And this thing, I have won games where I was just pumping these 2 or 3 times a turn, so that is another way to spend multiple black mana. I like this card because, well, if you have ways to give it lifelink, which I only have 2 other fairies, but you know, that it will get lifelink some of the time. Also, I think it just wears the rolls that buff things power really well. Like the Monstrous Roll and Royal Roll, Wicked Roll, all buff it up to a 2/4 flyer that you can pump, which it's good to have cheap creatures that get upgraded a lot by the rolls, and I think this is one of them. I need to read what this land is. Oh, it's kind of 6 mana to attack as a 5/5. That's a pretty good card. We got a lot of colors over here. There's a card in Arabian Nights called Cabal Ghoul, which was a really highly prized card back in its day. This card really puts it to shame. They have the 2 mana deal 3 damage to an attacker or a blocker card. I wasn't very invested in my Dream Spoilers living. I just didn't... I don't really know what all the combat tricks are, but I didn't want to block with it and have them play like a aura that turns their thing into a 3/3. It's going to stick around. Cooped up. Doesn't work. I thought that I could sack my creature. I can't. That was bad. I really should have just played Cream Puff that turn. Alright, I'm learning. How much better off would I be had I played the Scream Puff the turn before, and then I could have just fought with the Scream Puff on the Goose Mother. First roll attached to it, a 1/1 life linking. Okay. Wait a second, they have 2 of the rare lands. That's more than I was expecting to see. That would be a really good spot to have not dead after all. They don't have another source of blue mana, so they can't just animate this thing and attack with that as a lifelinker. No, they can attack with this as a lifelinker. I probably punted this game away by spewing my not dead after all, and also kind of wasting the fight with my Agatha's thing. So I didn't know what the cards did. I'm gonna bluff that I have red cards in my deck. See how the opponent likes that. So what's my best draw? Maybe Fairy Fencing, kill the 3/5 flyer, draw a card. Or the, whatever the death card is called. I did. Probably needed to jump. I somewhat checked out in this game. Yeah, alright. That was a learning experience. I go first. Alright. Need to tighten up. The last game was a disaster. Gonna do this either way. Seems not a great spot for my opponent to block, but they're probably still learning what the cards do, just like me. Creature has more than one role controlled by the same player attached to it. The most recent one is put into the graveyard, so I can't have my guy also get the wicked roll in addition to the monster roll. This person, they have the wicked roll now. This was a really good draw. Because they're going to try to double block this turn, and it's not going to go very well. Monstrosity. Never expect the monstrosity. That was pretty good for them. They go to 8. And they die to Shatter the Oath if they just play a 1 blocker. Feral Encounter, that's a good card. thought there was a decent chance I was going to be killing him this turn. Sadly, it does not appear to be the case. I'm actually pretty far off from killing him now because, in addition to the fact that I have to kill this Sweet Tooth Witch, probably, they also just have 9 life sitting in play. Oh. No, they're going to make me lose 1 life. That's fine. Because their Saga goes away. That's not the one that where they draw a card. I have another copy of that in my deck. That's awful. Come on, up the beanstalk, off the top. They didn't sack any of their food? Guess it doesn't matter since they drew a land, but I would have sacked at least one of the food. Gingerbread Hunter's exiled. I don't like that. So I'm going to be too slow on the draw. Hopefully not. I do have the option to just bargain this thing on turn 5. But I'm going to play up the beanstalk probably on turn 2 unless they play like a really juicy X1 to kill. I'm not going to kill this thing with Fairy Fencing on turn 2. Then turn 3 I can play Gingerbread Hunter or whatever. Punny Snack. So 1/2 mana guy with haste. Gingerbread, they're haste tribal. Haste 1 power creatures tribal coming at me. Oh, they didn't even get to make the food with this because they didn't have enough mana. I was thinking I was going to have to play the 4-3 so I could just block and trade with Hollow Scavenger, but they don't have the food. I guess they can sack Ginger Brute, but that's fine. I'm just going to block it if they want to spend mana and sack their Ginger Brute. I'll accept it. Cut in. I don't know what this card does. Take a bit of a gamble here. If they don't have an instant, they can kill the Dream Spoilers in response. I'm always going to get to pick off the Harried Spear Guard, but if they can kill the Dream Spoilers, then the Fairy Fencing doesn't kill the Ginger Brute. This is maybe a bit of a foolish gamble. They only have 2 cards in their hand, though. They're getting priority, but that may just be because they can sack the Ginger Brute to gain life here. Ooh, they get a Scry in their upkeep. I'm down to 7 life. I like this card. Cut in card. It was 4 damage for 4 mana sorcery. And they got a roll. Oh, I see. They're making their guy a 5/4. Jackal Chump block. Please don't kill me this turn. Don't kill me this turn. I think I'm in decent shape. So if I bargain away the up the beanstalk, I'm not going to get the card because this is an ETB trigger. But I might honestly just want the ability to sack this food to gain 3 life down the road. Puts me to 1. Another one of that guy. They just keep coming. It'd be nice to destroy the Season of Growth, but it would require me to probably monstrous roll something and then immediately oof it. think I don't really have the mana to spare. Maybe I'll do that next turn. I'm in pretty good shape now. Let's get rid of Season of Growth. I may just concede. Now they have another Ruby Daring Tracker. They're all 1/2 hasted up. Please don't have a way to kill me. Yuck. That's probably going to be a problem. Maybe they don't have another land. They do have another land. It has a monstrous roll too. Wait, it's a wicked roll. They didn't even cast this thing, indicating they have something they're planning on doing. If they just pass the turn, next turn I'll play a land and up the beanstalk. Feels like a fight I'm gonna win. But let's find out. Guess they managed to counter the Gingerbread Hunter, which that's a little bit annoying. I don't have the back half of it anymore. But I got the Curiosity Baronati off the board, so reasonably happy with how that turn went. Do I care about killing 2/3 menace? I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna let that hit me. I'm gonna hold this land in my hand in case they have that you discard 2 cards. 4 mana spell. At least for this turn. This thing when it comes out is just a 3/4 with a story. What's the story? My orders were to capture you alive. They didn't specify in what form. Oh, and it turns them into a frog? Wow. Does this still have its abilities? Yeah, it's just base 1/1. It's called the Cursed Roll, but really it's Frog Roll. Something about to happen? I don't think there's ninjas in this set. This card's pretty solid. Frogify was always kind of a bad card, but this is Frogify, and then you have a 3/4 on the back end. Maybe Frogify made things 0/1s. I don't know. This seems perfectly reasonable, though. The amount of time they're taking with whatever this play they're concocting is not reasonable. Maybe they're thinking about making a sandwich. Maybe they're actually making a sandwich. That must be what's going on. That or they're just disconnected. They probably made a sandwich and then somehow it got stuck in their computer and the computer doesn't work anymore. Yeah, crumbs in their computer. That's my theory. I'm gonna draw this again. Yeah, I think I do. The crumbs in the computer theory may have been disproven. Can kill that by pitching, by having the dream spoilers in play and pitching up the beanstalk. It's a candy grapple on their turn, but I don't think I'm going to do that right away. I will play a land, so I at least have the option to do that. One thing I could do, if they attack with both, is have the Fawn and the Spoilers double block Conceited Witch and have the Tracker block the Archive Dragon. I'm just going to do that, even though I'm not getting as much value as I had hoped for. This prevents 5 damage, and it gives me a 3/5 that's just going to be dominating the board. That ain't good for me. Should draw something pretty good on my turn. Territorial Witch Stalker. Maybe wasn't what I had in mind. I'm going to save the Up the Beanstalk one more turn. Hoping to draw Scream Puff or Gingerbread Hunter or something. They left their card on top. That's not a great sign for me. Well then. We go down to 2 here. I do have a lot of lands in my deck. Kind of hurts that I had the 1 5-drop, but it got countered. I'm dead. Come on, Swamp. Or Utopia Sprawl. I've yet to draw Utopia Sprawl in a spot where it would actually be good. I want to hang on to this oof. Maybe to kill this thing down the road. Also, there's a decent chance that they're just about to play a creature I can kill with Gingerbread Hunter's puny snack. Not the greatest targets in the world, and I'm doing it anyway, because if I draw a 5th land, I definitely want to just play Gingerbread Hunter on my turn. And I do. And so now I've got the food. I can use the food with the Troublemaker Oof to kill Impact Tremors, which I think probably saves me life over the course of the game. I am gonna wind up, you know, I could just sack the food to gain 3 life, but this saves mana. What roll is on this thing? The Wicked one. Back. Encore performance. They missed their land drop and they did spend, what was it, turn 4 on active treason. Not surprising they fell this far behind. Finally, I drew Utopia Sprawl. I'm waiting for that one. All draft. I always lose to these people who they go and get the sandwiches. And they come back and beat me. After making me wait while they make their sandwich. One spell to cast next turn. Hey, it's a spell I can cast next turn. Not really a very good one. I guess it's nice just because I can put Curse of the War, or I can play Curse of the War Fox. I guess I don't put it on there. But it means that we'll have something to sack to Agatha's Champion. Should I save this? Bargain is cast, right? Not ETB. One of the reasons I picked the Utopia Sprawl so highly was that I was envisioning games where things like that would happen. Roll attached top to one target creature. Seems like something I don't really want to have start happening. Probably could have attacked with that guy too. I was thinking I might play the Sky Beast Tracker, but I think it's better just to play 2 creatures this turn. Oh, quick study. Exile. I obviously could kill the Mocking Sprite there, but I think I want to save this for at least one turn to see if it's more useful as an instant in combat. Destroy target tapped creature. I thought I hadn't really played with Not Dead After All yet in drafts. I was expecting it to be a little bit easier to use than it's proven to be. I mean, that one game I did literally just throw it in the graveyard for no reason, and it cost me the game, but it has felt like, at least the way my deck is, I was thinking my big creatures would trade more. And instead I played against people that had ways to neutralize my big creatures without trading with them this cooped up card or putting Cursed Roll on them. This is precisely why I saved the Gingerbread Hunter. Oh, I missed some damage. I could have pumped that. There's the second green I needed. Probably want to hold off on drawing lands for a while. What's this thing do? You get a night token. When it goes away, they get the scry. Okay. Oh, that's a nice synergy with that. Those are both commons. That's pretty respectable. I'm just going to fire that off now. And risk something bad happening to me. I didn't put Baronauti in my deck to not block in spots like this. Maybe I should have done block there. It's an uncommon. I think probably my life total is high enough that I'm going to be able to stabilize pretty comfortably this game. We'll see, though. I'm definitely going to block the 2-2 again this turn. And hopefully nothing bad happens. What does this do? Oh, they're making something into a young hero, so I'm not going to block this turn. I'm going to take 6, go to 12, play this thing. 2 blockers. Let's go to, I can go to a 4-4, right? I haven't drawn my Not Dead After All or my Utopia Sprawl. I was thinking about that because I probably want to be careful about how I spend my mana next turn. This was... Oh, this card's good. I actually thought about trying this card in Constructed. So if they attack with everything, I think I'm going to have the Gingerbread Hunter block the Merry Bards. I would take 7 and go to 5, assuming nothing happens. Guess it's better to just block this thing if that's my plan. We're getting a bunch of scries out of this, right? Top, bottom, and this one's presumably going to be top. So I can draw Not Dead After All, which would be great. I don't think there was a way I could have... I guess I could have tapped... I could have left the green untapped in case I drew Utopia Sprawl, but that would have been kind of pointless. And next turn I'll have Hamlet Glutton to hopefully start turning things around. Grabby Giant. This is a good card. I would definitely like to be able to kill it with Curse of the Werfox, but if they attack and trade... I'm going to have to trade Mary Bards with Agatha's Champion if they attack. So I'm going to have to let this sit and play for a turn, which means they'll be able to draw at least one card off of it. Oh, okay. Guess not. I don't think that there's really any possibility they have a meaningful spell here, because if they did, I think they would have attacked. If they had some spell that would make it so this fight's not going to happen. They might have something that can, like, polish off the Agatha's Champion. But I don't think they were... There's no way they had anything that would have made it so they could win the combat, because they would have just attacked with Mary Bards and played that spell if they had it. Whatever they have in their hand is a spell, because it's something they scryed to the top, which I don't think they scryed a land to the top. Oh, okay. It is a spell. Not bad. So I think they just scryed to the top. I need to just double block here. It doesn't really matter if it works or not. Because if it hadn't worked there, that would mean that they were playing a spell to, whoa. I'm doing it this way. Am I dead? Does this thing work? Creatures you control get +1/+1 haste. So if they have another creature they can cast, they can kill me here. Or they can just put me to 1. Wish I had more Scream Puffs in my deck. Or it would be nice to draw a Gingerbread Hunter as well. This isn't the worst. I want to play around 1/1 haste. I think no. Definitely not playing around 1/1 haste flying. Come on, bottom. Or even better, topping 2 lands. It's probably the top. Okay, hopefully it was 2 lands. Seems likely I should be dead if they just went top. I don't know what this card does, but I think it probably kills me. All right, 4-3. I punted one game pretty bad. I don't know. I thought that deck was solid. I'd be happy to draft that deck again, basically. The only thing I really concluded was maybe not dead after all is not quite as good as I thought it was, but I think it's still playable. All right. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.